You got my mic over here.
Oh no, we're all gonna die.
Okay, let's see where we are here. Let me mute. I wouldn't do that. Okay, so let's see. Chat. Let me see if I can right here. Yeah. Yeah, I can. Okay, good. So I'm good enough in there. So I'm going to start on this over here. Hold on.
Okie doke.
Record. Here we go. It's
Yay.
Friday again. Here we are. Welcome everyone to the GoldFish Report. I'm your host and researcher, Louisa. Today is Friday, March 6th, 2026. This is GoldFish Report number 1198, approaching our 1200 mark. Uh, this is our weekly report. This is our OPFOR report with the controversial topic today. Our contributor to the controversial topic. How are you today? Thanks for joining me.
I'm windblown and weathered. Where I'm watching big red blob coverage of tornadoes zipping past my house at high speed. So
That is so scary, though. I hope you're. I mean, I see you're okay, but I pray
you
for
live
your neighborhood there.
you live in Oklahoma. We take bets on this shit. I'm
Dangerous
not
stuff,
kidding. I
man.
won $40 tonight. So I correctly guessed the track when everybody's like, man, that thing's gonna hook. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
That's pretty wicked. There's also some in Michigan too, I saw.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, I bet they panic like hell up there.
Well, actually, the Northeast gets their share, but nothing like the kind that you get, in the Midwest. That's definitely different.
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this is like, 5 miles wide, going through.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's cool. Now this was a little one. I think they were saying it was like the winds were not really enough to pop some power lines and maybe do some roof damage, but I don't
Mhm.
think anybody got wiped out. So,
Well, that's good. Hopefully everybody's safe. You know, um so the big news this week, what we're going to be talking about, of course, is this war with Iran. A lot of people, as you saw, Congress did not pass a War Power Act. So they want to they did pass it. They want to restrict, what Trump's involvement is. And I just have to say that we uh we are clearly at war, but we were at war before we went to Iran. I mean, this really started 40 years ago, didn't it?
47.
47.
Yeah,
Y-
79.
Can you help explain to our viewers what the problem is? Why are we
Okay.
at war? What's going on? Yeah.
See, over in Iran, there's these little mullah dudes, and they're pricks. Okay, and nobody likes them. No, so the deal was, the deposing of the Shah of Iran, who then was replaced with the Ayatollah and the mullahs as the basically, let's just call it, the Islamic State moved in, and they took the country over from the Persians, which are what a lot of Iranians prefer to call themselves. And when that happened, of course, then we wound up with the storming of the embassy, the useful idiots, aka the college students, that were sitting there to ransack the place. They wind up taking hostages, holding them for 444 days. And for anybody that has any doubt that, oh well, it was Jimmy Carter's uh, diplomacy that got them released, they shit those hostages like a hot Taco Bell incursion 20 minutes after Reagan was inaugurated. So it didn't have squat to do with Carter. And if you're one of those people that's mistaken enough to believe that Carter was this peanut growing dude of peace, you need to go back and look at the Carter doctrines throughout the Middle East and the Gulf region, because all of these problems that you're seeing over there now started with him and Zbigniew Brzezinski way back then.
What was the agenda then with what was their agenda?
Well, you talking about with
Brzezinski.
Brzezinski and Carter? Well, it was a lot of the same thing like they did with Afghanistan. If you know any history about Afghanistan, and I know everybody's like, you're pro Putin. It's like, no, I'm pro reality. The Russian government was mining for minerals and things of this nature in Afghanistan, and they had a cooperative agreement with a small civilian government working with the tribes. And of course, the big New Brzezinski and our CIA people just couldn't have that. So they decided to whip up Al Qaeda. And they trained a lot of these guys out in Dugway, Utah, turned them loose as mujahideen to attack the Russians that were in Afghanistan, because they know what is Russia's response if you attack their people in another country. They're going to reciprocate. And as soon as they did, here come the headlines: Russia invaded Afghanistan. They were already there. So that was nonsense, and that got carried on for how many years? So they destabilized Carter.
Hello? I seem to lose your audio. Interesting. Interesting what we're talking about. When your audio, I still have don't have your audio back yet.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You're back. You're back. Yeah.
Yeah, but Mika Brzezinski is the big news daughter. And then, of course, her two brothers, if you look them up, they're all a bunch of shit heels, too. So, but that's who started destabilizing the Middle East. A lot of that stuff happened under Carter.
Okay, so and what about, I see kind of Ukraine actually involved in this too, because it always seems like the deep state has their tentacles everywhere. And of course, it looks like from Ukraine, they really wanted to use that as a staging area to really kind of go in and destabilize Russia, which, they did not succeed to do. But it
Correct.
seems like that's their agenda. It's always, to kind of make agreements that they don't keep. Um, and that's why Putin took 8 years to really kind of act on these violations of the Minsk agreement, which is what they agreed to. So they don't fulfill, they don't keep their, they operate, I guess, in bad faith, right? They don't keep their agreements.
Correct.
Aside from the biolabs and all of that, Putin was obviously very concerned about along his border as well. But it also just looks like what Iran was doing was kind of like, you know, threatening all of the Arab world. And it looks like what Trump is doing is he looks like he's uniting them all to, weed out these mullahs that you're talking about. And I completely agree with you that they were the problem.
No,
And
that's part of that's I mean, you're watching the Abraham Accords, getting locked into place. The first thing, the first sign of trouble, what does Iran do? They attack all of their Sunni neighbors, because that's what Shiites do. So
Mhm.
they attack all their Sunni neighbors, and now, well, now you've got this. What was it? You went from like a couple of countries involved to like 7 countries involved, and there's 12 the next day.
Right.
Uh, Smart, but okey doke. Get you some of that.
I wanted to play a clip that we talked about just briefly right before we started. It's a clip that Julian Assange had some comments that he made, and I wanted to get your feedback from that. So let's listen to that really quick. I want to have to just get my adjustments for my sound and everything here. And here we go. Is this it? That's not the one. Hold on. This is the one.
The goal is not to completely subjugate Afghanistan. The goal is to use Afghanistan to wash money out of the tax bases of the United States, out of the tax bases of European countries, through Afghanistan and back into the hands of a transnational security elite. That is the goal, i.e. the goal is to have an endless war, not a successful war.
Is this the endless war? Is this, the Trump's attempt at ending the endless wars?
Yep. Well, I mean, you realize how Venezuela and Iran and Cuba and all of these other countries are stitched together, right?
Right.
With the transnational financial pipelines and everything, and a lot of them go back to Britain. So this is a smart move on Trump's part to neutralize this cash flow and redistribution system that they've had going on internationally for quite some time. You'll notice, and you'll notice who's getting paid by who's squealing like a hit dog right now in opposition to what's taking place in Iran, while the Persians are dancing in the streets.
Right. Yeah. Most people don't realize that I mean, the Iranian women, the culture was free. They wore modern clothes. They had, were free to engage in any uh, profession they wanted to.
Oh,
Uh,
Tehran, I mean, those women were at the height of fashion in the 70s.
yeah.
And
And
you look at, now that they're taking off the burqas and everything like this, it's like I've had a lot of people tell me over the past week or two, it's like, man, these Persian women are kind of pretty. And it's like, yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
they are.
very beautiful. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's like, you have to they're taking their burqas off. They're some of them are, being beaten as a result of it. Many have been because it's against their Islamic law. Now, this is the root of everything here, unfortunately. And this is coming to America now, right? And so it's here. So we have Islam here. We have Sharia, probably in Texas of all places. I mean, really the heartland of the conservatives of America, and they're right there. And we see it in other places as well. We see it in Somalia. We see it in maybe even parts of New York. We see it in Michigan. We see it. It's popping up all over the place. And um, this is the Trojan horse was political correctness to begin with. That was definitely a Trojan horse, and we should see it that way.
Yeah.
Because once they got us to, virtue signal, once they got us to, you know, worry about everybody's feelings, then, then all of a sudden you're not allowed to criticize anybody anymore. You're not allowed to tell the truth. In fact, even if it is even if it hurts your, upsets you, it's the truth. Makes you look at what you're doing if it's really upsetting people. But um, it's there's some systems on this planet that are totally completely incompatible, and that's with Western civilization, and that is certainly one of them. In fact, with peace in itself, right? Uh, so so did you hear Colonel McGregor this past week say that the U.S. military is down to like 4,000 missiles now? I mean, to who is he trying to kid? I don't know. What is he
Well,
saying that for? Is
I
he
you know
serious? Is he serious?
this is the I he thinks he is. Uh, I mean, I quit taking both Doug and then Scott Ritter. Scott Ritter's just fallen off the wagon and lost his fucking mind. Uh, that they were the voice of reason during Ukraine, right? They were the voice of reason, and here's this and here's that and here's how it really is. And now that we've shifted over here to Iran, everybody, oh, Trump lied to us and Trump betrayed everybody in the US. We're all going to burn in hell and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, dude, where are you getting this from? I mean, it's like oh, look, the number keeps going up to it was 80 kids. Then it was 120 little girls. Now it's 200 babies and all, and the first thing it gets hit is always a hospital or a school. There's not one legitimate news source reporting on this, not one. And school on Saturday during Ramadan, yeah, I don't think so. So, take it with a grain of salt. I think we're finally seeing the death knell of all of this CIA push propaganda, and the people that you're seeing again squealing like a hit dog are on the payroll.
So he also said that Iran has like 400,000 of these missiles. You think that's accurate too?
Oh,
No. Okay.
no.
So, it looks like they're just, I don't know what they're doing. Hi, Dan. I see Dan is on. Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl. Thanks for joining us. I'm just saying hello to our angel lady who's joined us as well. Dan's joined us. Yeah, so exactly. Exactly. There's a lot of look, isn't this like the fog of war? Isn't this, propaganda? Isn't that very effective during war?
Well, I mean, that's, I mean, if Islam told the truth, right? If Islam told the truth, who would join that shit? Seriously, right? I mean, if Takia wasn't a thing, lying to further the cause of Islam, and the Hijra wasn't real, which is migrating to spread the cause of Islam. If all of those things, if they told the truth about it, who'd want anything to do with them? Nobody. And what is the Islamic State? It's just Middle Eastern Marxism. Same
Well,
shit.
okay, so well, Iran had a lot of issues. I mean, they had a lot of things that
Mm.
they were involved with the deep state, with regard to trafficking as well. Um, the exposure of the funding of Iran, the drug trade, the meth trade, the weapons, the money laundering, connected to world banks. I took connected to Iran, deep state globalist operations, creating extremist terrorist organizations. Um, so the regime controlled certain areas and created a lot of
Yeah.
chaos and the world's oil supply, and they they um, they know that the Strait of Hormuz, they could essentially crash the world stock market. Uh, so it's very important that people are paying attention to this and understand how much oil comes out of there and really feeds the world. When I say feed, well, in terms of provide, I should say, the world with oil.
Europe and China. It's not
China.
our problem.
Well, well, this is why, see, this is what's happening now, right? So initially Spain didn't want to get involved. Now Spain's getting involved. The UK is getting, I mean, this is really becoming huge. China, no, Russia now has said that they're gonna, I don't understand. Can you explain to me why Russia would back Iran when Russia is in really an Orthodox Christian country for the most part, and Iran is, like Muslim?
Russia does business with Iran. They don't back them.
Well,
Uh,
there
we've
were
given
comments in the media,
we've given more money to Iran than anybody.
$8 billion,
You
from
know, so
on two air 737 aircraft, I think.
well that was reported. But you still got to look at it. We're still giving the. You heard Alicia's report. We're still giving 40 million to the Taliban every week.
Well, why? Because we killed their families and we have to pay them off?
No, it was something that was set up during the Biden administration, and we're
But with
still giving the Taliban
but
forty
with
million dollars a week, week after week.
through McCain? Did McCain set that up?
I'm not sure who set it up initially, but it's still going.
Mm.
Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, Lisa did a report on that for us with
Hmm.
was talking with Tim Burchett and talking about the one guy West that is I believe he's a former Senate aide that has some type of connections to get this written in somewhere into some loophole to where they can't shut it down. And it's like, you got to be kidding me. This shit's it's beyond ridiculous. But you're seeing that anybody that is, I'm at this point, anybody that is screeching about
Hmm.
our involvement with Iran is on the payroll. They're on the payroll.
Well, I think a lot of
So,
people don't understand why we're there. I mean, that's aside. I think there's just a lot of those aren't like, well-informed people, of course, because if they were, they'd know, and that's not anyone's fault. There's some good people who just don't really understand it, and maybe some are in our chat tonight, and
well, and
I
I get that, but let's back up a second. I understand if you're a 20-year-old college kid and you were raised by the nanny state under Obama, but if you're Gen X, oh, there it is. You can hear
yeah,
you can
I
you
hear it.
can hear my sirens going off outside.
Oh, you have another
Yeah.
tornado coming? Yeah, there's a.
Uh,
Mm,
we've got severe weather throughout the course of the night. This is nothing that should be bothering us,
mm-hmm.
but we've got severe weather, or maybe Iran's trying to bomb me here. In Tulsa. Ooh, scary. The mullahs are coming to get me.
The mullahs, yeah, mullahs. Oh boy. So How long do you think this is going to take? What's your projection on this? Do you have one?
Uh, it it depends on who gets involved to sabotage progress.
Could you come a little closer to your microphone? So it's just a little hard to hear you. Sorry.
It depends on who gets involved to sabotage progress.
Yeah, that close is good because I think I could hear you so much better. So
I I
who
have
could do that?
some my
Who
forehead.
well, it's
Uh,
okay. Forehead's good if we can hear you. What
well,
what
I'm gonna start wearing this thing like a pair of contacts. Um, the yeah, no, literally, it depends on who all gets involved to 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 screw up progress.
uh-huh.
If we're left to take care of this and get it
Hmm.
done,
Hmm.
this could be as quick as what I would call the live action phase of Desert Storm.
Hmm.
And if it's others getting involved for the wrong reasons, they'll drag it out as long as humanly possible.
Yeah. Well, we've already seen that we've had what was the situation that happened in Kuwait with this friendly fire that shot down our F-16
I'm not buying
fighter
that.
jets? Do you
I'm
know
not,
any more about that?
not buying that story.
I
I'm
know.
just not. I'm not buying it.
Yeah,
I,
I find it hard to believe myself, but
well, they keep changing the story, number one, which is what tells you it's bullshit, because they hit the wall. They're talking about, oh, well, it was a Patriot missile system. Yeah, Patriot missiles aren't used to target aircraft. Um, so and then of course, when you start talking about defensive U.S. missile systems, and people are saying, oh well, they turn their transponders off. Well, that's not the system that identifies friend or foe. Okay, it's not. And so
Hmm.
our equipment will not fire at our aircraft. So exactly what's happened there, I couldn't tell you. I don't think anybody knows. I think most of this is made up,
Hmm.
because you have this you have this pristine female pilot walking up out of the desert talking to people in Kuwait who speak perfect English,
It
right?
does seem, look, I'll tell you, she seemed like without a scratch, you know? I'm just
Well,
saying.
and it's, it like I said, it's just every time you start seeing these things at the beginning of action,
Uh-huh.
everything that you get shown is fucking staged.
I
It's
was just
just
gonna say, I was just gonna say, is this central casting?
yeah, it's staged.
Central cast.
It's staged.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you notice that the protesters had new signs and matching T-shirts 20 minutes after we started.
Well,
It's staged.
they're always, that's always central casting. That's always by
Print,
design.
print on the go. I mean, I
Yeah.
need one of those mobile. I need a mobile protest sign truck.
So are you saying those videos we saw were probably CGI? We
I
had,
don't believe them. I mean,
well,
all
I'll tell
I'll
you,
put it to you this way: all of the stuff that I've seen, all of the videos that I've seen of them claiming that Iran hit this or Iran hit that, that's everything I've seen as far as the videos of their missiles in air. That's all War Thunder. That's from a video game.
hmm,
So
yeah, I tell you, this
now,
is the thing. This AI is just very difficult to sometimes really tell the difference. And sometimes people will report about, an incident that they hear, but they'll use footage from another event or something like that. And
Yeah, well, you got to find something to fill the gap. Remember when uh, Turkey invading Syria turned out to be a gun range in Kentucky for an annual machine gun event? So, I mean, they'll make up anything to try to sensationalize. It's a ratings game. It's a propaganda game, and it's constant.
Yeah. So now what is your opinion about Trump's firing of Christine Nome?
Well, you have people on both sides of this. You have people saying, "Oh, but she's going to become part of the shield of the Western Hemisphere,
Yeah, what is that, right?
and it's a promotion, and this sort of thing." And I gotta be honest with you. I've never felt one way or another about Kristi Noem. I just don't. I mean, she doesn't repulse me. She doesn't impress me. She's just there. And I just I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there are a lot more what I would call serious people
Yeah.
with DHS and everything else than she struck me as being.
Well, okay.
I just I think she's another one of these politicians that makes things about her.
Well, I have a clip here of our next Secretary of Homeland Security, Mark Wayne Mullen. So it's interesting because you can hear Bernie Sanders in the background. So he was like, he was almost getting wasn't he like an MMA fighter or something? Mullen,
Yeah,
and yeah,
I know
so
that.
listen to this. Watch this. Watch this. You have to watch this.
Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place. You want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults, we can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution, everybody?
No, sit down. Sit down. Okay. You're a United States Senator.
Quit the tough
Listen to
guy
Bernie
act in
Sanders
these
over
Senate
there.
hearings.
Sit down. You're a United States Senator. He's like,
Yeah, that's Mark. No, that's Mark. I know the Mullins family.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's Mark. Yeah, Mark will beat your ass.
Are they from Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Oh yeah. I mean, this looks like a much better replacement for Homeland Security, I think.
Well,
Look, Kristi
yes
Noem had her
and no.
purpose, and I think, yeah, she's done.
Yes, no. I Mark doesn't really have the background for that. If I were going to take someone out of a congressional or a Senate slot, I don't think we need to be taking Republican senators out of their jobs right now, but due to such a slim majority. But maybe somebody knows something I don't, that a lot of these people aren't going to make it to midterms, because look at what happened to Green, Crenshaw, and Crockett in Texas. So, but I would not have taken Mark Wayne Mullins out of his Senate slot for that. I would have left him where he is, and I would have tapped oh my God. I would have tapped Louisiana. Oh my God. I can see his face. God.
Well, we'll come back to that when
the Louisiana congressman, former SWAT law enforcement, uh, that's who I would have tapped. And
Okay. Who's that? Clay Higgins?
yes, yep,
Yeah.
yep, Captain Clay Higgins. Yep, that's exactly who I would have tapped.
Okay.
He's worked with border enforcement. He's worked with DHS. He's worked with the Texas Rangers. He had God knows how many years in law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? So
Uh-huh.
Clay Higgins would have been my first choice if I was pulling someone off of Capitol Hill. Yes, that's
Got
who
it.
I would have gone
Got
with.
it. So this is very interesting because we have Stephen Miller saying you have to understand here the language is shifting. There's a linguistic shift going on with the administration, and they're getting people. This is just this is how they're slowly herding us into um, accepting these new changes that are coming. I mean, it's going to be a tripolar world, whether you'll want it or not. That what does that
Right.
mean? That means we are aligning our hemisphere, and they keep repeating these phrases, our hemisphere is uh really belongs to the Americas here. So we're going to be all, we're going to have Canada, we're going to take and not take, it's just that we're going to align. We're going to align together so that we stick together. Then Russia's going to take part of Northern Europe, and then there's going to be China taking parts of Indonesia, Southeast Asia, things like that. There's going to be there's new kingdoms being established
It's not
right
new.
now.
It's the Monroe Doctrine.
Yeah,
The
that's
Monroe
it's the Monroe
Doctrine
Doctrine,
is
exactly.
old. The
Exactly.
Monroe, well, now they're calling it the Donroe Doctrine because of Trump.
Don Rowe, yeah.
The Monroe Doctrine is old, guys. I mean, Jefferson was involved with this. Think about that, Jefferson, and no, not George Jefferson.
Wheezy.
From the sitcom on TV.
Yeah.
We're talking about Thomas Jefferson was involved with the Monroe Doctrine.
Yeah.
Keep your shit out of our yard.
I'm telling you, I've been saying this for years on the Goldfish Report, quoting Washington's farewell speech, warning us to stay out of other countries' affairs and businesses, especially on the other side of the world. What we're doing here is we're aligning, and for the most part, they're all going to get protection from the United States for doing so. But we have to clean it out. That's what's going on in Mexico as well right now. That's why we cleaned out Venezuela. Don't forget, well, let me play this clip really quick so you can hear what Stephen Miller has to say. You can hear how the language is shifting uh, to, a different kind of, our hemisphere he's referring to. So it's quite interesting to listen to. Let's listen to him.
We are not going to cede an inch of territory in this hemisphere to our enemies or our adversaries. Our national security, our homeland security, the safety and well-being of our people begins at home, begins in our neighborhood, begins in our home region. And for too long, we have allowed foreign enemies, foreign adversaries, and enemy terrorist organizations to control territory and spaces in this hemisphere where they can project power, project threats, and directly threaten the lives of your citizens and our citizens. And so under the leadership of President Trump, we are using hard power, military power, lethal force to protect and defend the American homeland. Not a single one of your nations should tolerate the existence of a single square mile of territory that is under the control of any entity other than the sovereign governments of your country. The idea that we would have in this hemisphere area that are under the physical control of foreign terrorist organizations, paramilitary organizations, is completely unacceptable. The cartels that operate in this hemisphere are the ISIS and the Al-Qaeda of the Western Hemisphere.
Hey,
Correct.
that's huge. That's huge. So what he's saying is this is huge. This is really important because this is bye-bye UN. This is bye-bye NATO.
Oh,
This is bye-bye World Health Organization dictating what
oh
our
my
policy should
God.
be.
No, what will we do
Exactly.
without
This,
a binding resolution? Oh my God.
yeah.
I'm so afraid that someday I'm going to get a binding resolution against me. I bind you, Nancy. I bind you from doing harm against yourself and harm against other people. I watched the crap. You know, Robin Tunney was kind of cute when they did that movie.
Yeah,
But
but we have to stop selling our land to foreign countries, though. I mean, selling, you know how much,
that's
you know how much
kind of
land,
another thing.
yeah, you know how much land we've sold to military officers of the CCP right next to our military installations. Hello.
Well, look at, and then you have to actually turn around and look at Gentner Drummond, our AG out here. You know, everybody's been talking about these illegal Chinese marijuana grows, these marijuana farms here in Oklahoma. That there were a lot of them that were being used since they passed the whole medical weed bullshit here in this state, and that they were actually being used for other nefarious purposes, including human trafficking. And everybody knew about it, but nobody did anything. And Gentner Drummond, our Oklahoma AG, aspiring governor, Gentner Drummond's out there hip deep in it, sticking.
Oh, lost your video again. I mean, I'm sorry, your audio. Let's see if we get your audio back there. Yep, there's
But,
look. Okay. You
but
you you got it there? Okay.
yeah, but Gentner Drummond, is the reason that the OHP is out here stopping these, illegal truckers on the highway. Uh, he's getting shit done, and of course the lefties that are here in Oklahoma that want to turn Oklahoma into Colorado, uh, they just they're not having success with it, and they're upset.
Yeah.
Broken Arrow just a couple of weeks ago, rejected the whole Islamic Center and the mosque that they wanted to build out there. It's like, not you gonna go, you take that shit somewhere else. So this is just this is as red as the state gets, regardless of your little blue dots here that are, all involved with your teachers unions. That's where a lot of this comes from. We have minor children being used as pawns by teachers unions and school staffers to take minor children out and get them hurt off of school grounds without their parents' knowledge.
Yeah, the
And that
protesting.
got to stop.
That's crazy. That is crazy that they would take the kids out of class and make, even as young as kindergarten outside protesting. I mean, parents were livid when they found out about this.
Oh, they
And
left the special needs kid out on the on the interstate overpass.
good grief. See,
You got Corky out there running around, wondering if it's pudding time, and they left him out there on the damn overpass.
Yeah, so
somebody's ass ought to fry for that shit.
I think somebody will. It's time though. I mean, all the way back in Trump's first administration, let's recall, this executive order, that this is really, at the heart of all of this is ending this human trafficking. This was Trump's executive order on combating human trafficking and online child exploitation in the United States. this is, a huge industry. I mean, do you know how huge this is?
Yeah.
It's so big that the
Billions
president that the
upon
president of the
billions.
United States had to create an executive order regarding this. This is how huge it is. It's so big, people don't even realize it. It's so huge. Um, and this is really, I think this has been his mandate, was to kind of end this deep state corruption, the money laundering, the child trafficking, the child exploitation, the drug trafficking. The cartels had to end. I mean, we need to really be, whether you like them or not, is really not the point. Because who do you want to have in the White House? Somebody who's just, going to be a yes man, somebody who's just going to, say, oh, let's just be nice to each other and all this. No, there's some people or is with some ideologies. I will just say there's some ideologies that there is no possibility of coexisting with. And if you want to harm children, rape children, traffic children, torture children, sacrifice children, there should be a no tolerance policy to this, period. Like, I don't understand why the mainstream media, well, I do know, but why aren't more people? We had the Epstein files come out saying how the horrific things that they're doing to these children, and people are just going about life like it's normal. But it
Trump's
won't
the only
disappear.
person. Trump's the only person from those circles that said shit about it back then, and he's the only president that's tried to do anything about it first term and second term now.
Yeah.
Oh, but he was all in with Epstein and blah blah blah, and all you have is Trump's name over and over and over in the Epstein files going, I don't like that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trump got up in my business and screwed shit up for me.
Right. The
And
reason
then
that
of course now you got Clinton. Oh my God, you got the Hildebeest coming out here. I don't recall ever meeting Jeffrey Epstein, which in all fairness, we don't know how old this lizard clone is, so it could be telling the truth. This particular clone could have just been pulled out of the fridge a couple of months ago and briefed in. So we don't know that this one's old enough, to remember when Cory Bush was in office. So, yeah.
I look, I mean, the truth is stranger than fiction, right? I mean, there's lots of things that are going to come out. We are so far ahead. The things that we've been reporting on the GoldFish report for years are starting to really kind of start playing out now. We've been very far ahead. We're totally far ahead of mainstream media. And, at some point they will have to report all of this. I mean, it's just, it will have to come to that. There's absolutely a changing of the guard going on this planet. There's a changing of the world financial system, because the trafficking has to end, the money laundering has to end. This whole thing with this whole new financial system, we have the Clarity Act, which is being held up right now, has to do with uh, crypto exchanges and people who issue tokens, which are like, uh, financial services companies, right? Where you would maybe have, investment brokerage, retirement, whatever. They want to be able to offer tokens, I'm sorry, stable coins, and they want to give you a yield on it. And so what the banks are afraid of is, for the first time, banks really have this competition that they've really always monopolized in the past, where you deposit your money, we have fractional reserve spending. They loan out 10 times, as you know, the 10 times the amount that you deposit. And they earn about 3 and 4% interest on it, and they pay you 0.0%. I mean, 0.1% rather. So, it's not a good deal for you and me, and they get to make all the money. And just it's always a win-win for them. It's really, the bankers run the world, right? at this point, we have we have this Clarity Act that's taking a long time to get passed. So we have the CEO of Coinbase, which is a crypto exchange, Brian Armstrong, who has been out front. He's been really out front of all the opposition to getting this bill passed in the form that it was in, because the banks don't want the competition. But this is huge, and I know it's still new to a lot of people. This, I do try to report on it more, but the thing is there's competition for the banks now, really for the first time ever. And they don't want to lose depositors. They're afraid that they're going to start losing depositors. I'm telling you that this world is changing. There's massive changes. It's not the deep state. It's not the New World Order. There's massive changes going on that are happening. But nobody's going to be standing up there ringing a bell saying, look here, look here, look here, except on the GoldFish report, except I have no bell. But I'm saying, look here, look here, look here, because these are the changes that are coming. And if you know they're coming, you can get yourself prepared for that, right? But this financial system is huge. But there's no way to hide any money. I mean, it's a little bit complicated. I could explain it on another report, but there's what's called a hash, and this hash follows every okay, so the hash is like a record of the so let me say it this way. If you have a token, or if you have a cryptocurrency, because it's digital, there's a digital, I would just say, I think everybody understands the idea of metadata. So it's kind of like a metadata but it stays with it. So it follows that coin wherever it goes. So there's a history of who owned it and what it was used for. This is huge. This is on the blockchain. This is decentralized finance. It's not run by a central bank. It's decentralized. That's why it's called DeFi, decentralized finance. And so this is a complete revolution. Now, Trump has told us that he was going to do this. He said our financial system is outdated, it's antiquated, and it's time for a complete upgrade. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Now, I think that it's very possible. I mean, I know that Trump, if it wasn't for Trump, we would have imploded already. I do believe that. We would be in a we would be in a really huge recession
under Biden.
Yeah, we would have been in a massive depression, worse than the Great Depression of 1933. So what Trump has been doing is he's been systematically it's been a controlled demolition of our financial system. We're going to get to a point where maybe we can't really, escape the ultimate outcome of the money. At some point, the money's going to have to all like equal zero, and then everything's going to be revalued. That's the way it looks like it's going to happen, because the only way this new financial system is going to work is by replacing the old one. So you know what that means? That means this financial system is going down. You can't have them both. You can't have parallel systems. Especially, I guess, not for a long period of time. You have, I guess, a beta test that's running alongside parallel, making sure that it runs well. David Schwartz, who's the CTO who created this. Now, David Schwartz was one of the early programmers of Bitcoin. And of course, this is where, we recently found out with the Epstein files that Epstein was providing financing for those operations, but he didn't start them. I think he took them over.
He was involved all the way back with GBI. He was one of the first people that was involved with all that GBI, and these guys were like roommates together. So,
yeah,
Epstein had a much longer history in, let's call it, creative finance than what he did in sex trafficking.
Oh, sorry. I was just reading something in the in the chat here. Yeah, someone was asking if the messages are when Mark is on I'm sorry, Mark Christopher Nelson. He'll be back probably in a couple of weeks, and that's when that's when you can interact with, ask Mark questions. So thank you, Cheryl. I know Cheryl was trying to answer that question for our Davy Jones. Davy Jones, I always think of whatever. Okay. And Dan is saying means I'm going to have to buy the White Album again, Agent K. I don't know what that means. The White Album?
Oh
Explain.
yeah,
Do you know what Dan means by that?
the White Album. You talking about the Beatles?
Agent K? I don't know. Sergeant Pepper? I don't know. I don't know what he means. So, what I'm trying to say is that really all of this is kind of connected, and I do think that this is the war to end all wars. It truly is. I don't think this is Armageddon by any means.
No.
I think this is the war to end all wars, to end all the fighting. The Middle East has been a mess, all my life, and probably yours too. And there has to be a point in time when, there has to be an end to these wars. So this is really what's playing out right now. And it is there will be, I believe that the plan is that, there will be, you know, um, a greater union for the Americas. I believe that there's going to be, um, a better financial system, a better quality of life. And we're going to be getting. Now, one of the reasons I think this game, this hyperbole about, who has what missiles and all this and that, some of it might be fog of war, but I think they're seeding our consciousness to kind of start realizing that just like the financial system is old and antiquated, so is some of our military weapons. Like we have
No.
such advanced weapons now that we don't need bombs. We have these humongous lasers. We have plasma lasers. We have technology that we don't need bombs to dropping out of airplanes anymore.
You can drop a tungsten rod from space.
Yeah. This is the
That
Tesla
will,
rods of God.
that'll
Exactly.
go, God, how many miles into the ground when it hits with
Wow.
the force of, what do they call it? The finger of God.
Rods of
Uh,
God, right. That was Nikola Tesla's invention, right. Tungsten rods, exactly. So,
so,
yeah,
there's
exactly.
a
So,
lot of other stuff out there, but I mean, like I was telling you before we came on tonight, all of this propaganda about, you know, Iran has this and Iran has that, and you remember when Saddam Hussein and his million-man army promised the mother of all wars, and Baghdad Bob and blah 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 blah.
mhm.
Well, it's the same type of propaganda that the mullahs have been using. But here's a reality check for you. When you are 3 days into operations and B 52s, the boomers, are occupying your airspace, your air defense is done.
Yeah.
You don't use B 52s where you've got any air defense left. That's what stealth's for. So when B 52s are now occupying the airspace over Iran,
Mhm.
their shit's over. We got the first U.S. sinking of an enemy ship with a torpedo
Yes, we
since
did.
World War II.
Right.
Um, there's Iran is done. Well, the Iran, the Mullah regime in Iran
Hmm.
is done, and you notice these guys are clicking off like a Pez dispenser. And the next Ayatollah will be out, shit, he said. Hey, you, come here.
It's,
What's your name? Muhammad. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Everybody's name is Muhammad. You
Yes,
know
it
what I
is
mean?
over there.
It's like it's a joke. I mean,
Yeah.
you're getting, and this whole idea. Oh my God. Well, the U.S. troops are just wasting missiles on paintings of
Hmm.
planes on the ground. Are you
Hmm.
out of your fucking
Yeah.
mind? Do you have any
Mm.
idea how look down targeting and FLIR works?
Mm. Well, yeah.
You're not gonna paint a smiley face on the sidewalk
Yeah.
and a Predator or a Reaper drone is going to fall for it.
Well, here's who they are looking to replace the Ayatollah with. This is Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. Let's listen to what he has to say here.
The Islamic Republic has launched missiles at the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Jordan, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia. It is targeting our Arab neighbors. These violations of their sovereignty are unacceptable, and we condemn them. But this is nothing new. This is who the Islamic Republic has always been, and this is why it must end. For nearly 5 decades, this terrorist regime has sown chaos and bloodshed across our region. It propped up Assad, turning Syria into a graveyard. It planted Hezbollah as a state within a state in Lebanon. It armed the Houthis to destabilize the Arabian Peninsula. It empowered militias in Iraq to undermine Iraqi sovereignty. It attacked the economic hubs of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. None of this has ever been the desire of the Iranian people, but rather that of a regime occupying our country. Now, however, the landscape has fundamentally shifted. Assad is gone. Hezbollah has been decimated. The regime's military nuclear program has been set back. Its economy is in a free fall. The pillars of this regime's aggression are crumbling. The Iranian people have paid the price in blood to reach this moment. The regime massacred tens of thousands of my compatriots in just 2 days, but it didn't break the people. Instead, the regime itself is breaking. Today, history reminds us of our future potential. Before the revolution, Iran worked closely with Arab leaders, from King Faisal to Sheikh Zayed to King Hussein to President Sadat. In Oman, my father helped Sultan Qaboos defend his country against insurgency. We were true partners then. We will be true partners again. The Iranian people have called on me to lead the transition after the regime is gone. I have accepted that responsibility. Part of their great mandate to me is to return our nation and our foreign relations to normalcy. I will do exactly that. My commitment is to ensure the transition is orderly, the country is stabilized, and Iranians determine their future through the ballot box. We will not repeat the mistakes of past transitions. We will avoid de-Baathification scenarios and maintain as many bureaucrats and public servants in transition as possible. Iranians have made their choice at an enormous price. Now I ask our friends in the Arab world to join us, to prepare to recognize and engage our transitional government. We will rebuild our nation not for expansion, but to serve the Iranian people. We will base our diplomatic relations not on exportation of ideology, but on mutual respect and shared interest. We will reintegrate into the regional and global economy to increase prosperity for the citizens of all of our nations. Standing with the Iranian people is not charity. It is a strategic investment in making our region one of the most stable, secure, and prosperous in the world. Together, we can build a Middle East our children will be proud to inherit. Take this new path with us.
Very nice. I mean, he said it right there.
Yeah, there you go.
So Trump had a plan. I mean, he says that the Iranian people had asked him to step up, but I think, it was a bigger coalition of people who, have been involved in this for a long time. a much larger coalition.
Oh yeah,
So
all the Sunni countries.
yeah,
You know what I mean? All the Sunni countries, they're all sick of the Shia of the Shias. So, you know, and of course, there you go. I mean, your proof's in the pudding. You know, the first thing that they do, first sign of trouble, and what do they do? They lash out at all the Shia neighbors, and it's like
hmm
that was stupid.
hmm
You know, I mean, you're getting your ass beat by one or two people. You know, swinging at all your neighbors isn't really gonna help you any.
yeah.
But there you go.
But there's a plan. It's in place for a transition. There's going to be stability. The Iranian people, I mean, they killed 40,000 just,
Yeah.
to protest. They're killing 40,000 of their own people. So, that regime has to be, replaced, obviously, and that's what they're doing. And, we hope and pray for the Iranian people. We have Iranian friends around the world. They're good people. And, most of them, right? Just like most Americans are good, maybe not all of them. And just
Yeah.
like it is anywhere else, but they have the right to have for self-determination, and that's what they're doing. So we wish them the best. Unfortunately, we've lost some, Americans also in the process. But we have to the greater goal is peace, truly, truly is. And this is what Trump meant by peace through strength. So
And
not
it
to
comes at a cost. It always does.
yeah, yeah.
It always comes at a cost.
Well,
And the best you can do is hope that what you're doing overseas, you know, if you're someone that's downrange in uniform, the best that you can hope for is that you're there for a good cause or a good reason, you know.
yeah.
And that you're not on the side of people doing bad shit to others for nefarious purposes.
Right.
That's what you can hope for.
Well, that's very well said. Thank you for saying that as a, former serviceman. I mean, you can speak from, with your heart and from a completely different perspective than I could. And I appreciate you bringing that, forward and, honoring that and respecting that. So we're done for our report tonight. We're at the top of the hour. We went a little bit over as we usually do, but it was worth it. This is important stuff. This is what we're working on. This is what's going to change the world. This is, what's happening, just so people understand. Please share this video, share it far and wide, because we need people to really understand what's happening, why it's happening, and what's going to happen when we're done. And, we have to stop fighting. I mean, we just have to stop fighting among each other. We really do. There's powers and forces at play here that are far larger than us. And, we could protest all we want. It isn't going to change what's going to happen. And it is, I believe it's for an ultimate good objective. I don't believe that there is going to be some nefarious, global takeover. I don't see that. I could be wrong, but I don't see that happening right now.
No, place
Or ever.
for everything and everything in its place.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I want to thank everyone for joining us. I especially want to thank our friend here who's joined us from the controversial topic. If you want to follow the controversial topic, you can do that. If I could pull that up. Oh my God, my web browser is so slow. Look at this. I wonder what's going on. Maybe they're, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
It's the mullahs targeting you.
It must be, right? No.
Baghdad Bob.
Hold on a minute. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on just a second. I'm trying to get okay, here you go. So if you want to follow our friend here OPFOR for the controversial topic today, here is where you can find him on TikTok. This is his channel here on, or he is a contributor to this channel here on TikTok. Come check him out. check out his reports. And the best thing everybody can do is share the information, share the reports as far and wide, and spread the information so people don't have misinformation, they don't have disinformation, they have accurate information. um
And
and
remember, for only $200 a month, you become a lifetime member of the Saltwater Taffy of the Week Club.
yeah. If you like your fillings and all your dental work.
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
No, I drove home with a drunken cat this afternoon
Oh my God.
because he had to have a couple of his teeth pulled. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
he was
Oh.
he was singing the inebriated song of his people all
Oh.
the way back to the house today. It was hilarious. I should have filmed it, but
Oh. Yeah,
yeah.
well, watch that saltwater taffy. We all know it's irresistible. Okay, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week with more reporting, and have a great weekend. Be safe, be vigilant, because there's still warnings out there about possible sleepers that want to cause disruption and
They're
discord.
called CIA DNC fundraisers. It's an election year. It's going to happen.
Oh yeah, so be careful, be vigilant, folks, and we'll be back next week with more on the Goldfish Report. So thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for all of your comments in the comment section, and have a great weekend. This concludes this edition of the Goldfish Report.